I watch episode 80 of Pokémon every year because I watch every episode of Pokémon every year. In episode 80, a friend indeed, friendship is a mistake. Past the preliminaries and into the liminaries, Clan Ketchum co-ops the competition's kitchens for a facsimile of a home-cooked meal. Again, only Pikachu and Togepi are allowed to eat at the table. As a delight in Delia's Psyduck soup, it's the same chef Oak advises Ash to continue to use Pokémon that he has abandoned. Advice which he ignores even though they are the only reason that he's made it this far. As they exit the eatery through the elevator, an unaccompanied miner beckons them to hold it open, which Oak acknowledges verbally whilst making no attempt to actually do so. All packed in the paternoster, the single small stranger who shares Ash's silhouette immediately pets Pikachu without permission or consent, after which the elevator breaks down and the enclosed space becomes even more enclosed. Another indicator of the failing infrastructure of the Kanto region. Brock panics and prays that the outage is limited to their own predicament, whilst the eldest among them accepts their fate. As distrustful of the system as Delia, the young knave yet to be named exploits Pikachu's cheeks to regain power. Having saved them all from spending more time together, Ritchie properly introduces himself and runs away. After a single minute with Ritchie, they are more confident in his abilities than they ever have been in Ash's. Also benefiting from the League's lax management, the caitiffs claim authority from a camper van, masking their most blatant theft with the boldness of bureaucracy. Under the guise of guidance, they collect all of the competitors' Pokémon, including Ash's and Ritchie's, outing themselves only after all is lost. Despite their citywide announcement of their Pokéball cabal, there's no police presence and the gangsters easily get away. Ash alone attempts to reclaim the Pokémon on foot, with Ritchie not far behind. Ash runs down the plateau with disregard, but Ritchie has much to regard. Ash argues with Ritchie for saving his life before they both opt to try to stop the high-speed vehicle with their bodies. The villains veer into the valley, vanishing from view, so Ash and not quite friend yet pause their pursuit, spending the night under the stars instead of just walking back up to the city. At the kids' campsite, Ritchie apologizes to Ash for saving his life, which Ash accepts by blaming him for more of his own uncouth personality traits. They connect over the consumption of canned cuisine and comb the constellations. Who's that Pokémon? Also sleeping in a bag. In the morning, they find the criminal still within walking distance, also sleeping outside even though they had shelter. The pals sneak past the sleeping pests and enter the unlocked recreational vehicle where they reclaim what's theirs, but no longer napping, the Crims kidnap the kids as well. As Ash fails to discern his flock from the fascicle, Ritchie flaunts more of his forward thinking. Like their fresh friendship, Ritchie's Pokémon are sealed by the stars. Pikachu easily sniffs out its found family because it's connected to them more than Ash's, but not that much more. At any point, Pikachu could have freed them all and overpowered the ruffians easily. They were trapped together all night unsupervised in a sack, just a regular sack. Instead, it waited for Ash to fail. Ritchie also waits for Ash to fail before intervening. He calls on his Charmander, nicknamed Zippo, to claw forward to the cab instead of any of the other 4 unimpeded exits, adding the obstacle of purposefully poor driving to their escape. For his second Pokémon, Ritchie sends out Sparky, a Pikachu that has dreadlocks to be distinct from Ash's. Fully twinning, they destroy the high-speed vehicle that they are all still aboard, putting the burden of their safe escape on more of the Pokémon that they have in common. Higioto and Happy provide a safe-ish landing in an open field where the police finally arrive in time to take credit for the rescue. More so than any other episode, the geography doesn't make sense. It will never make sense. It doesn't have to. Sometimes the only way to make friends is to ignore what doesn't doesn't make sense. That's why I'm alone. For the finals, instead of roulette, the matchups are determined through acts of animal cruelty, for which the outcome is also cruel. The episode ends with the uncertainty of their fishy fate, a cliffhanger that both might jump off of this time. Ash has fought his friends for stakes higher than this, but unlike all of them, Ritchie exceeds Ash's abilities not through nepotism but through superior cognitive reasoning, a skill only honed by being alone. The Elite Four that Ash defeated were strangers that differed from him in every way, but the champion he now faces wears a short-sleeve collared jacket, fingerless gloves, unkempt hair under a cap, and mains a Pikachu. The major difference being that his equally brash nature hasn't afforded him a support system like Ash, yet he has accomplished the same. Who knows when Ritchie last had a home-cooked meal? All that Ritchie has is his Pokémon and the addiction that he nicknamed them all after. He uses his Zippo to Sparky in order to get happy. Ash gets high on his supply of friends, family, and other people's family. Gary was always steps ahead, but Ritchie is who Ash would have been if he had taken all of his steps alone. Ash has never known what it's like to be alone, least of all now in his identity. The stare down where this episode stops suggests Ash's real challenge, his ideology of individual exceptionalism confronted by the concept of individuality itself. To be continued.